Hello, friends, and welcome back to Malicious Compliance Stories. Let's start today's video with a late shift gas station story about a police officer who thought his badge made him untouchable. But before we begin, best way to support our channel is to leave comments, like and subscribe with the turned on bell so you don't miss the new video every single day. Here we go. He writes tickets like candy, but got salty when I followed the rules. Way back when I was 21, I was working 3 jobs just to keep the lights on and my fridge stocked with something other than ramen. One of those jobs was the late shift, 7 p.m. to 1 a.m. at a 24-hour gas station/convenience store. It wasn't glamorous, but it paid, and it was rarely boring. From day one, management drilled a single golden rule into our heads: card anyone who looks younger than 40 if they're buying alcohol. Didn't matter if they were wearing a wedding ring, had gray in their hair, or looked like they'd been around since rotary phones. If you couldn't be sure they were over 40, you carded them, no exceptions. And because we were the only place in the area open after 10 p.m., our regulars after dark were either night shift workers, sleepy truckers, or local cops grabbing coffee or beer if they were just getting off duty. One night, I was stocking the cooler when I heard the familiar jingle of the door. I turned around and in walks a police officer in full uniform. He heads straight for the beer section, grabs a 6-pack, and brings it to the counter. I recognized his face from around town, not because I'd ever dealt with him personally, but because I'd seen him in uniform plenty of times. From his body language, I guessed he was off duty and grabbing something to unwind. So I did what I was trained to do. I smiled and said, "Can I see your ID, please?" The look he gave me was priceless. Total WTF? He even glanced down at his uniform, then back up at me like I'd just asked him if he knew what 2 + 2 was. "Really?" he said, gesturing at his badge and the rest of his getup. I kept my tone polite but firm. "Sir, I don't know who you are. I've never been in trouble with the law, so I've never had the pleasure of meeting you in any official capacity. You look younger than 40, and my job requires me to card anyone who looks younger than 40, uniform or not." He huffed, clearly annoyed, but handed over his ID. I checked the date, scanned the name, and handed it back. Transaction complete. He grabbed his beer and left, muttering something under his breath. The second the door closed behind him, I couldn't help but giggle. Here's why. I'd actually heard his name before from friends who'd had run-ins with him. His reputation wasn't exactly warm and fuzzy. In our rural area, speeding tickets are the main thing people get busted for. We had 2 main cops in the area. The other one was known for being fair. He might pull you over, have a quick word, maybe give you a warning, and send you on your way. But this guy? Oh no. He was the one who'd write you up for 2 miles over the limit, act like you'd just robbed a bank, and make the whole interaction as unpleasant as possible. I'd had one brief interaction with him before at the gas station, nothing major, but even then he'd been short-tempered and borderline rude. So when he gave me that incredulous, "You're carding me" face, I wasn't intimidated. If anything, it made it a little more satisfying to stick to the rules. The thing is, I wasn't trying to be petty. This wasn't me getting back at him. I really did not know him personally, and the policy was clear. But let's just say that knowing his reputation made me a lot less inclined to bend the rules in his favor. After that night, I didn't see him in the store nearly as often. Maybe he decided to shop somewhere else, or maybe he just didn't want to risk another round of "show me your ID" from the cashier who apparently didn't care about badges and uniforms. Either way, it made for one of my favorite late shift stories. The night I carded the cop who thought he was above being carded. You could have had some petty revenge on top of your malicious compliance. It's against policy for every department I can think of to purchase or consume booze of any kind while in full uniform. And our second story. No, Karen, I don't work at Target, but you're about to get kicked out. Okay, let's just say I'm very short for my age. I was at my local Target with my niece, who we'll call Diana. For a bit of context, I was coming right from volunteer work at the animal shelter. I love animals, kind of my soft spot, and I picked up Diana from her school. She wanted to go to the toy section, and I agreed to buy her something small. While I'm joking around with my girlfriend, who was with us, Diana comes up to us with one of those LOL dolls. We agree it's all right for her to get it and start walking over to the food. My boyfriend separates from us to get some vitamins. Here's where the drama comes up. Okay, excuse me, ma'am. I turned around to see a woman with her 3 kids. Yes, a typical Karen. Me, oh, I'm sorry. Do you need to get by me? Okay. No, I need you to tell me where the laundry detergent is. I was obviously confused because I don't even look like I worked there. I was wearing a shirt with Todoroki on it and jeans. I'm a big weeb, not a uniform. Me, I'm sorry. I don't work here. I think somebody who does work here is in the next aisle, though. Diana, Auntie, who's this? Okay, get your brat to shut up. Diana and I were absolutely shocked. Diana started to cry, and my boyfriend, let's call him Ronnie, bends down to comfort her. Ronnie, shh, Dia, it's all right. She didn't mean to hurt you. Me, what's wrong with you? I don't work here, all right? Okay, yes you do. Let me see your manager. Me, I don't have a manager, ma'am. For the last time, I don't work here. At this point, an employee came over. E, is there a problem, ladies? K, yes, she isn't letting me see her manager. Call him over. E, she's on a business call, but I can get... K, get the manager already. I was helping Ronnie calm down Diana at the time, and the employee looked like he was about to throw the Karen into a wall. E, fine, don't blame me if she kills you. The manager came walking over, clearly pissed off. What's going on, ma'am? K, you need to fire these 2 Manager, not you. I was talking to this young lady. I summed up what happened to the manager. I'm too lazy to write it all out. K, she's lying. Manager, ma'am, I'm going to have to tell you to leave the store. Keep in mind she had 3 kids who looked at least 10 to 15 years each and looked embarrassed AF. In the end, she left and Diana got an extra toy. Karen, if you're seeing this, F you. Hope the kid got an extra big hug at the end of all that. Karens need to be publicly shamed until they can remember how to act properly in society. Maybe we should develop a special anger management course for 40-year-old moms with bad hair and an attitude, so when the cops eventually get called for the umpteenth time to deal with her nonsense, they'll have somewhere they can haul her off to. And our last story. My cousin thought my vineyard was her playground. I'm 31, and my cousin Tara, 35, has always had a special kind of entitlement. The kind where family property magically becomes hers if she wants it badly enough. When I was 15, my dad sent me to live with my grandparents in Oregon. His official reason was that it would be good for me to have more responsibility. Translation, I was a pain-in-the-butt teenager and my parents didn't want to deal with me. My grandparents owned a gorgeous vineyard tucked into the hills, rows of perfect vines, a renovated barn, 2 guest cottages, and views that looked like something straight out of a wine ad. They passed away within months of each other about 5 years ago. In their will, I inherited the vineyard. Their words, I was the only one who treated it like a legacy instead of a toy. My parents and Tara got other assets, cash, investments, antiques, but the land was mine. Within a year, I'd turned the barn into a high-end event space, corporate retreats, charity galas, weddings. We book almost a year out. The vineyard became my pride and my main source of income. 2 years ago, Tara got engaged. She started dropping hints about having her wedding at the family vineyard. I told her I'd make it happen if she gave me her date as soon as possible so I could block it out. She promised she'd let me know. Fast forward to 3 weeks ago, still no date from her, no follow-up. Then an ornate wedding invitation lands in my mailbox for a Saturday in September this year at my vineyard. The problem? That date had been booked for over 14 months by a couple I actually like working with. I called her right away. Tara, you didn't give me this date. I told you to book early. It's taken. She went nuclear. You can't bump family for strangers. Just move them. Family comes first. That's not how this works, I told her. They signed a contract and paid. I'm not screwing over paying clients. She claimed she'd already sent out 200 invitations and couldn't change it now. I said that wasn't my problem. That's when my phone blew up. My mom, Tara's fiance, and half a dozen relatives I haven't spoken to in years suddenly cared enough to call and scold me. The smear campaign followed. Fake 1-star reviews popped up on my business page, all from friends of hers. One even called me an ungrateful gatekeeper. I shut it all down by moving all communication to my business line and email. Everything gets recorded there. I even tried to compromise. 3 alternate dates around the same time, all free of charge, catering included. She refused. "You're ruining my dream wedding," she spat. Then she crossed the line. Last week, the couple who booked that September date forwarded me screenshots of Tara trying to bribe them to change their plans. She offered to pay their full fee plus give them a free photographer, her friend, if they'd move their wedding. They declined and sent me the messages immediately. I sent everything to my lawyer. We set up a meeting, me, my lawyer, my mom, and Tara. She strutted in and started on how our grandparents would want her to have the vineyard for her big day. I stayed quiet while my lawyer slid the screenshots across the table. Her face drained of color. "This," my lawyer said, "is attempted interference with a legal business contract. You also coordinated a smear campaign on my client's public business profile, which is defamation." Tara tried to play it off, mumbling something about misunderstandings and emotions running high. My lawyer informed her that if she so much as stepped foot on the property without permission, she'd be trespassing, and we wouldn't hesitate to have her removed by security in front of her guests. The meeting ended with her storming out, muttering about family betrayal. I thought that was the end of it, until I got a call from my security team this week. Tara had shown up to walk the venue with her maid of honor. She was stopped at the gate and reminded she had no booking. She screamed that she was the real owner and that I couldn't keep her out of her own family's property. Security escorted her to the road and warned her that next time the police would be called. That was the final straw. I had her formally banned from the premises. Her name is now on a no-entry list shared with my staff, caterers, and rental partners. If she so much as steps out of her car in the driveway, the cops will be on their way. The September couple, they're thrilled. I've given them free wine for their reception as a thanks for putting up with this circus. Tara's wedding? Last I heard, it's been moved to a local community center. She wanted a vineyard wedding. Now she'll be saying "I do" under flickering fluorescent lights with the faint smell of gym mats in the air. You handled this exactly like an owner, not a doormat. Tara didn't forget to book. She gambled that family guilt would trump contracts. Grandparents would have wanted me to have it is not a legal doctrine. Signed contracts are. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.